Good morning, soul family. How are you? Sorry, I've got kind of a deep voice. Happens sometimes, when you don't speak in the morning. Speaking of that, here, first of all, before I do that, let's choose our items. You guys can choose 4 items from 4 items. Now, we've got this large stone. Oops, these are all from the ocean. Well, these are actually the first ones you'll see. Heart-shaped rock. It looks like it's got, how interesting to me, I see the new moon, like a crescent moon in the heart. A new moon in the heart. I can see the nose and the eyes. Is it just me? There's that one. And then there's the twins. They look almost identical. I lost one and I asked Spirit to bring me another. And actually, I've had 3. I had one and it fell and it broke. And I kept trying to glue it back together and it wouldn't stay together. So I asked for a new one. And I was given this one. And then I asked for its partner and I went to the beach and I was given this one. So they're a little different, right? This one's a little bigger. It's got a little kind of, I don't know how you would describe that. This one's not quite fully formed into a perfect heart. And then we have the one from Sedona. Isn't that amazing? The red rocks. Okay, those are your 4. So choose between these. Let me choose. I like that one with the moon. And I like the red heart. So I'm going to put you guys down on your side. Sorry, I have to charge us. I know that's kind of annoying, but we're plugged in right now. My girlfriend, so I was talking about my voice. My voice is so deep. Have you ever, I am not someone who's ever at a loss for words, but I was yesterday. Have you ever run into somebody that you really wanted to see? You hadn't seen them in a long time and you really, really wanted to see them, and you run into them and you don't know what to say. I was like in shock. I just kept saying, wow, wow. The person offered, some details of their life, and everything I wanted to say went out. I was just in shock. I couldn't speak. I can tell you that all I did was look at their eyes. I didn't even notice their clothes and I was just, and now as I try to recall their face even, I can't. It's like, I went out yesterday and I was out, I never go anywhere. And I heard music and I stopped into this place and I thought, you know what? And it's funny because I drove around trying to find a parking spot. 4 times I drove around the block and couldn't find a parking spot. And I thought, all right, I guess I'm not meant to go, right? Maybe I'm not supposed to go, even though I really miss the music and I really want to be around it. But then all of a sudden there was a spot, so I took the spot. And remember yesterday I said I was excited to find out what was there for me in Old Town. I felt like Spirit said something was going to happen, right? So I get up there and I go into this place, and I don't go in places alone. I'm quite awkward that way, right? I'm very uncomfortable. And, it's a Sunday and people are drinking and I'm just kind of standing there quietly, and these 2 people walk up to me and very non-threatening, very nice people, weren't hitting on me or anything. And so I felt relaxed, and they kept saying, would you like me to, everyone of course always wants to buy a single woman drinks, right? But I said, no, I'm driving, it's okay, I didn't want anything. And then I thought, that's going to be a bummer though, because if there's music and I can dance, I'm not going to be able to dance in front of everybody. I've never had the confidence to do that, But the music was really good. I was listening to it and I was thinking, shoot, man, I love that. So I'm like dancing, how you stand there dancing with your feet? And finally, I just thought, I don't care. What the hell? I'm going to go. And all I was drinking was water. I went up there and I danced. It was so much fun. And the person, I kind of held on to those people because, I knew they were safe and I didn't want to be left alone. I turned around and they're gone. And, oh no, the one person was gone and we couldn't find the other person. So he's like, oh, he's over here by the, by the bar. So we go up to the bar, and this man, remember yesterday I said, where's my acorn man? Remember, I'm just thinking of things that popped up yesterday. Anyway, he grabs my arm as I go by, and that was in a dream the other day too, remember? Somebody had fallen into the water, the emotional waters, and everyone was just standing there. The guy's brother was standing there, and I jumped in and grabbed him by his arm as he went by. And what was so weird is, later I'm telling the story like I'm someone else, and somebody says to me, wow, wasn't that lucky that you grabbed his arm just as he went by. He's so good looking. And I'm thinking, I don't understand why that's so weird, right? But that's kind of what happened. I go by, and he grabs my arm, and he's talking to me, and he's got an English accent, so he's hard to understand, I mean. And he's telling me something, and right then I looked and I saw the person that I knew, someone I've known for so many years. I hadn't seen in a long time, and this person's talking to me, and I can't think. My mind's just, I'm not paying attention. And he's talking, and so he says to me, I made an Indian mad at me. And I'm like, what? And he says, yeah, what would you call an angry Indian chief? And I'm like, I don't know. I said, I'm missing the story. I'm trying to concentrate on what he's telling me, but I can't. And he says to me, well, I called him he says, don't ever call an Indian chief a crushed acorn. And I thought, okay, that's odd that you would say that, crushed acorn. And, because I'd said, where's my acorn man, right? Don't ever call an Indian chief a crushed acorn. So he says, well, I want you to give me 3 names. What would you call them? And I can't think. I've got him. I don't even know what the story was, what he was talking about. And this person's sitting there, and I'm just in a fog. And so I look behind the bar, and there's like an Angry Orchard sign, the Angry Orchard apple cider. It's I like that. I will drink that. That tastes good. And it said Angry Balls underneath it. And I said, Angry Balls. And he goes, okay. And then he says, anything else? And so I'm looking, I can't think. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, right? Should I go over there and say something to this person? This is so bizarre. And I'm looking around. I can't think of words. And what did I say? I said something. It was just stupid. And finally, I just said, I walked away, and I just walked over to this person. And I said, hello. And they just said, it was... They told me that, they didn't live around here anymore, and life had gone on. They'd gotten married, and I had so many. I said, wow, you should have said something. And they said, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know what to say. All the things that I wanted to say went out of my mind. I couldn't, all the questions I wanted to ask. And, they were off, they offered information a little bit, and I just didn't say anything about me. I just kept saying, wow, like, I'm thinking about a song. There was a reading I did for somebody, and a song came on, and I said, the person said, why are they ignoring me? Or why are they lying to me? Why are they lying to me? That's what it was. And the song came on, and I said, I don't know, but right then the song says, I'm not lying, I'm just stunning with my love gun. I think. Hold on, I'm going to look it up, because that's weird. Maybe it wasn't that. Stunning with my love gun. I think that's what it was. Stunning with my love gun. Love gunning, it was that. I'm not lying, I'm just stunning with my love gunning. And that's what came up. That's what Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga poker face. Okay, and that's what it was. It was like poker face. It was like playing poker, right? I'm looking at this person. This person's looking at me, and I'm just like, what? I'm not lying. I'm just stunning with my love gun, and I felt like I was stunned, like I had just been shot with a stun gun. How bizarre. Does that ever happen to you? Where you're just like, And then you walk away and you're like, why didn't I ask this? Why didn't I? So anyway, I just left, said, nice seeing you, and, went off, and I just went, and I just danced. I wanted to dance because the band wasn't going to be there very long, right? And I don't think I even waited for those people that I met there. I just went on the dance floor and I just danced. And then at the end of it was all over, I saw the person walk away. So I saw what they were wearing and I saw their hair, but later I'm thinking to myself, there were so many things that I wanted to say or wanted to ask, but I guess, it wasn't meant to happen, right? Some things just aren't meant to be said. It was just really bizarre. So, and I think about it now, and I think about how the person grabbed my arm. Oh, what wasn't he lucky? Because I guess if he hadn't have grabbed my arm and stopped, I don't know where, I might not have seen the person. At least I saw the person. I know that they're okay and happy for them, in their life. And wow. Anyway, here's our cards. I'm going to put you down again because I've got to do more than one. I forgot. Sorry. I'm going to use 4 really difficult decks, and I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't know why. But I woke up this morning and I was, listening in my dreams. My dreams were giving me a lot of information. And I kept saying, what am I supposed to do? I don't understand. What am I supposed to do? And, when I'm at a loss for something, I go to spirit right away. And, sometimes we question ourselves and we wonder, I do, I'm so clear on what I see and what I'm shown, and then something, goes off script, and I think, wait a minute, maybe I'm not as connected as I think I am, So when you ever get like that, when you're hit sideways with something, or you're just, you're not quite certain how to proceed or move or what to believe or think, I just kept saying to my father, I need you. I need you right now. I need you right now. And it's funny because Liger came over right then and leaned up against me. He cried, he knew that, so he gave me his energy, right? He was connecting with me. And I watched Lily and Liger this morning, and it's so funny. Roommates, she doesn't like him. He's a big goon. She doesn't like him. To her, he's a big goon. And he's always there, He always wants what is hers. It was interesting. And I realized later, as I looked back on everything, how everything was actually lined up. Spirit arranged everything. I saw a lot of things, a lot of messages that came to my mind. When he comes, he arrives with crystals in his hands. I saw that. That was interesting. A lot of things that we may not understand, right? But there's always order to the madness, right? There's a divine order to the madness. So we just have to stay centered and grounded and listening and to the messages that we get. And my girlfriend Christina wrote me this morning, and I'm sharing this with all of us because this is an awesome message. You know that I always listen to my dreams, but I feel like my animal messengers are safer, right? They're safer to me because there is no confusion when it comes to that. Whereas with your dreams, you can have some confusion as to the interpretation, right? What's literal, what's symbolic. And even when I ran into that old friend, when you meet people in conversation, or they probably wondered, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you speaking? Why don't you say anything? And I don't know. It was weird. It was not me, right? But it was. So you never know quite what's going on in someone's mind. So you should not assume things are things aren't always as they seem, right? Now, clearly I'm not somebody who has a difficult time finding my voice. But my higher self just knew it wasn't the time to ask questions, You have to respect people's boundaries. And I don't know, also I was just in shock. But what comes to me then is my animal messenger. Shoot, I got to put you guys down on the side again, because I do have another. I think I'm trying to choose another deck for us. So what came up was she writes to me, and everybody knows that the animal messengers are my thing, right? And she shows me these feathers that have landed. Let's see, what does she say? This will be helpful for all of you. Found this feather on my walk, trying to look up online for identity fixation. Any thoughts? It's only 5 inches long and lots of fluff. Identifier. She goes, not fixation, identifier. That's interesting. Not fixation, identifier. I'll think about that later in Terra. And I said, it looks like a baby hawk or an owl feather, which is interesting because I am, you know, I work, remember the message I got the other day? I work, one works at night, one works during the day, right? And it's the owl, but they're related as totem messengers, as the messengers themselves. They're family because they have the same type of gifts. The red hawk is the messenger, and the owl is also a messenger, but the owl is also the keeper of secrets, right? And they fly at night. They see things in the night. They see through the darkness, through the veil, through the deception. And they work closely in contact with one another. So I looked at it, and it's a beautiful color. I'll show it to you. I would love to have one. She was very blessed. Isn't that beautiful? So what the first thing, because of the tip, I thought of the red hawk. And because of the blue at the base, I thought of the owl. And at first I thought of the snowy owl, which is the silent flyer, right? You never hear this. They're all quiet, but they're known to be the silent flyers, the snowy owls. And see, there's my snowy owl right there. I keep them in my presence. And so it doesn't even matter if that's not the particular feather it was. That's what my higher self needed to see. See, now that's another message. Just like I'm saying, things don't always look as they are, and you should never judge a book by its cover and never assume something, right? Without having clarity. I looked at this feather and my higher self said, you know what the story is, right? You know, for you, the story is that is half red hawk, half owl. You get that. They're both standing there, right? They're both there in the same physical presence. Two different, isn't that interesting? Two different breeds in one, but they are one. One is more blue at the base, and one has got the more, you know, a kind of a mix between, I would say, earthy and spirit, right? The grounded and the light. And the blue, to me, and it's kind of like a gray blue. I think I spoke about this yesterday, one of the colors that came up, and I've got to find it in one of the readings, and it was more of a gray. The hat that she wore. Remember the hat? The one that was angry, that was behind the wall? And I said she's angry because she can't speak. And she had a hat on, and I said, to me the hat looked more, maybe that's the deck I should be using. I think I'll use them all. I said the hat looked gray, but it was kind of like a blue-gray, like that color. Interesting. Sorry, I keep saying, That's annoying. It's annoying to me. It's kind of like what I probably looked like yesterday, you know, standing there with freaking my whole leg in my mouth because I couldn't speak. It was like someone was not allowing me to speak, and I honored that, right? There was a reason I wasn't supposed to speak. So I looked up. I looked up owls, and when I looked up the first owl, I went to the snowy owl, and I took a picture of the feather. And this is a snowy owl. Now, it looks the same, but it's a different color, right? So I thought, okay, it's an owl feather for sure. So let's go to find an owl that might have that color feather. It's a screech owl. So I was right. So here's a message for all of us from our screech owl. This is definitely a message for me, and I understand it 100%. And, okay, see what it is for you. And I'm looking, Mama Bear hugs man after he saves her cubs. I just saw that. That was beautiful. This big guy took care of these babies, and the mother was so grateful. I so get that. There's just a picture. I'll show it to you. It's just really sweet, right? I haven't read the story, but clearly he must have found the baby cubs in the water where they were struggling and rescued them, and the mama said, "Thank you so much." I get that. Okay, so the owl is a spirit animal. Well, what's interesting, first of all, I wonder if it's in here, because I specified the screech owl, which was interesting because I wondered about that, you know? Is there a specific message for a screech owl totem? Because generally, they don't break them down, right? Generally, they don't break them down. There's just one blanket, you know, totem message. But they actually do give me a message. So the owl symbolizes wisdom, magic, awareness. If the owl is silently observing you, remember that this is a symbol of insight. Okay? To hear the screech or hoot owl symbolizes the disconnection with your inner voice. So I found that interesting. That's what happened to me. Silently observing you, disconnect your voice. That's what I heard. That's what my body did, right? And even when we don't understand something at the time, Spirit knows what they're doing. They aligned everything. Everything was lined up. There was, it's interesting because I thought, oh, I wonder if anybody's going to come here, because I said in the reading yesterday I was going to go to Old Town, but once I was there I realized, oh, I haven't posted the reading yet, so nobody knew that I was there. So I didn't, because I might have run into other people, right? But nobody knew I was there. So screech owl is a warning, a warning you must be aware of. Call upon your inner voice, keen observation, intuition, ancient wisdom, silence, night vision, clairaudience, oracle. And I am an oracle, right? So when the owl appears to you, it's an omen that many will come to you for your knowledge, your wisdom, and your secret shamanic powers. It's powerful medicine. It teaches us to use our discretion when sharing. Share only when it is for the highest good, as the great secrets must not be manipulated by those coming to you in deception or guise. You must practice diligent discernment in every circumstance. Further messages from the owl shows that when you are in need of a retreat, go to your private sanctuary. And what's interesting is private is highlighted. Remember yesterday I got, I don't know if it was yesterday or a while back, we were supposed to not let everybody know what we were doing. You know, it's not everybody's business all of the time. And I told you I was going to start reading in a different way, where I wasn't, you know, saying so much about my personal life, because prying eyes want to know, you know, catfishers get in there and manipulate, and it's nobody's business. And I said that I'm a very loyal person, but if I was a loyal person, that loyalty would also require me to respect others' boundaries, right? Which is why, you know, when I ran into that old friend, I guess I didn't probe it. It wasn't, you know, I was being respectful of boundaries. I'm going to be much more careful from now on. Spirit's made it very clear to me, you know. Be more careful and be more respectful of boundaries. And when we're respectful of others' boundaries, then they are respectful of our boundaries, right? So it's all lessons as we go along. So, hold on, sorry. I was taking a drink of my chia water. My mouth is so dry I can barely. How interesting. Okay, I just want to show you. I've got our cards all out, and this one fell on the table. So we got this one yesterday as well. Remember, it was around that person that was wearing the blue-gray hat that was angry, that was behind that brick wall. This was their message. Take time to feel the love that surrounds you. So right now, we're going to ask that. Remember yesterday we were going to breathe in the feeling of love, breathe in that energy. I'm going to breathe in protection, love, healing, calm. And I'm going to bring the lepidolite, except for I want to bring this one, because this is my favorite one. Lepidolite mica. Remember, this one is for This one is for anxiety. This one is for dealing with, so many different things. I can't bring it all up right now. We won't have time. But these are the items that I'm going to breathe in. Actually, I do have to tell you. I do. So let me just pull it up, because I'm going to forget it. Because right now my mind is going a million miles an hour. Lepidolite. Mica meaning. It's called lithium lepidolite. It has lithium in it, so that you don't have to take, this is something that you can take naturally instead of taking a drug. So lepidolite, where is it if they can show me lithium? There we go. Lilac lepidolite, which is this. And it's a spiritual color, right? I love it. It's what's so beautiful about this is it's a mix, the two colors, between pink and amethyst. Pink being love and healing, amethyst being very spiritual, calming, and protective. So it's all in one. And look at it. To me, I know that you guys probably, I always see love. There's a heart here. Any way I look at this, I see it. I could probably turn this around right now. I'm seeing a falcon. I see the eyes. I see that little tuft ear. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a falcon. I'm also seeing, I don't know, this is interesting to me. Layer upon layer upon layer. This is a child. This is an adult, but there's two little ones being protected here. Makes me think, and there's another one right here. It's interesting. Makes me think, at first I would have thought, there's the guy that saved the two babies, right? And there's the mom saying thank you, but there's someone else here. But I'm seeing layers and layers, and what comes to me is generations. The ancient ones. So this message to me, I'm also seeing a different, I'm seeing a buzzard, just because of this. And I'm seeing a bird that's on, what is it? What is the team in Arizona? Arizona teams. Hold on. It's on there. Is it a cardinal? Cardinal. I'm seeing, let me look. I think it's the cardinal team. Let me look at team logo. Images. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Do you see it? That's what I'm seeing. So that's a message. That could be a message to some of you, but it's definitely a message to me. So I know what it means. Okay, so, and I knew that already. So cardinal totem. We have to look up the cardinal totem, and I have to tell you. First of all, lepidolite. The reason I want to breathe this in, it's a soothing, calming stone that will help you if you're feeling anxious, stressed, or depressed, as it contains lithium naturally. The vibration of that stone works with all the chakras, but it highly is effective within the highest chakra. It has a positive vibration that stimulates positive coincidences or synchronicities. It brings emotional healing and helps you get deeper into meditation. It is a Libra birthstone, which to me would mean it brings balance. And when I think of balance, I think of the laws of karma and justice being balanced, right? It's found in a lot of places, and it will aid in joy, peace, serenity, and love. Unusual vibration, highly spiritual sense of love for yourself and for others, and it helps you make the connection with the innermost center of yourself, your divine presence. That's for the lilac lepidolite, because there are different colors. The lilac lepidolite will stimulate your intellectual and analytical abilities and to recognize the patterns that come from your personal way of thinking. It stimulates a stronger ability for you to be in harmony with spirit, and it aids you to feel more settled and serene about life. By this encouragement for you to be more in the flow, this lilac stone creates an increased number of powerful coincidences or synchronicities. Of course, we know that coincidences aren't coincidences. The divine directs all of these. As I went back this morning thinking about the last few weeks and my dreams and the messages and the things that popped up in my head, and I didn't quite understand why I said certain things out loud, and everything was strung together, and it all went together. Those were the synchronicities. And so This is a good stone because it helps you to bring all those synchronicities together and understand completely what's going on. It will allow you to create amazing situations, to bring into your life the things that you desire, that you've been thinking about. It's strongly linked to the law of attraction and has a powerful metaphysical property. Beautiful vibration. It works with all of your chakras, but strongly resonates with the thymus, or your heart, higher heart chakra, and the crown chakra. I want to show you the different ways that it can be seen. You can buy it in different forms that I haven't seen, and I'm going to get it because I want to wear it 24/7. It's beautiful. So, relieve stress. If you've been experiencing grief or loss or deep emotional suffering or anguish, it helps heal the heart under these circumstances. It reduces shock and the confusion of your emotions. I could have used this yesterday, right? Especially helpful to aid in the grief of children and pets. So I would take that as both ways. If a child has lost a parent and they are suffering the grief of that loss, and also if a parent has lost a child, suffering in the grief of that loss. And our children are often our pets, so the same. It'll still your obsessive thinking, so you can make decisions more easily. It'll help you if you have allergies as well, and it strengthens the immune system. And if you're exhausted, it helps you. If you have chemical sensitivity, it's said to, if you have bipolar disorder, it's known to help ones with Alzheimer's. I watched somebody in my dream last night, their father, and they didn't seem to know what they were doing. They were in a fog. And I thought about myself yesterday, right? So that makes me think of Alzheimer's. You have a parent that you love so much. All I want is for my dad to be happy, right? And they're lost in their mind. They're lost in their head. They have a lot of memories of the past, but they're lost in their mind. It's a good meditation stone to get deeper meditative states. And it's known as the Alpha Stone. And when you have a relaxed and calm mind, this will happen with this stone for when you're meditating, so that not too many thoughts come in to interrupt. So the best way to use lepidolite, this lilac lepidolite, is as a spiritual purification stone to clear the negative energy that's in your auric field. Remember, we saw the woman that was naked on the stairs, and I heard in my head, she looks beautiful with her top off, but when you put her top on, she's kind of raggedy when you put her top back up. So it's kind of like when your crown chakra is covered. This is what I get now. You're not going to think straight. But I got another message like I got yesterday. Girl, she looks beautiful with her top off, naked. But when you put her clothes back on, she's pretty raggedy. Meaning she's not connected, you know? So I felt also that, there's something wrong. And I said with my car, when I was talking about my car, my vehicle, my mermaid, it was so beautiful. It had a dent in the rear where it was rear-ended by somebody, so it knocked me off my path a bit, right? Somebody rear-ends you, it's not in your control. Someone else did it, and it's damaged you. And other than that, the car was beautiful, but there was some wear and tear from the sun beating down on it, on the convertible top, and it was kind of torn up, kind of raggy. So because of a lot of pressure coming down, or the heat beating down on you, it tears things up a bit, and it doesn't look as beautiful as it did. But when I put the top down, all you could see was that gorgeous beauty standing there, right? Once the crown was uncovered, and you just saw the beautiful part of the car. So it makes me think also of us when we allow ourselves to be open and vulnerable. We are, the beauty of us is seen, whereas if we cover up, that isn't seen as much. So this is a good stone to help quiet your mind if you have scattered energy that you want to settle. And I'm thinking about if you have an issue, clearing negative energy trapped with your auric field, that would mean you have tears in your auric field. So think about that convertible top that has tears in it, right? It looked rough. It had tears in it. So this is a good stone for that. And for you to remain focused and go in deeper and remain in a kind of a centered theta state, you need to find an easy way for this to happen, because a lot of people find it difficult to do. So, because you need to be very deep into meditation before you get, brainwaves slowed to that deeper theta wave. So, we are there when we're deeply asleep and we're dreaming. That's why I do so well. And I told you that my spiritual twin taught me how to channel. And I was always better at my very deep messages in my dream time, whereas he was capable of going into a deep meditation and connecting that way. I'm getting better because of the way Spirit's helping me, but that's what we're speaking about here. This stone will help you, because the one, like before, I was only able to reach that state when I was dreaming. But once we discover how to reach that state during meditation, then we can travel to higher realms. And once we make that connection, then we begin to communicate with other beings in the higher realms, and we connect with angels. So once we've succeeded in contacting our spirit guides and begin to work with them, then we find how our spiritual growth accelerates. And our higher connection might grow quite rapidly, quite quickly. So the depression, anxiety, stress, clearing your mental clutter, helping you to focus, bringing your auric field back into the proper cleansed state. Because we get, as I said, the sun beating down, that would have been all that negative energy and because I told you with myself, beating down on my head, I'm going to do my readings differently. I realized that I had too much coming at me, people trying to find out information, beating down, questioning, and it got very negative, a lot of gossip, a lot of drama. I didn't want that. I was being shown things I didn't want to see. That was chewing up my auric field. So I wasn't able to connect to where I wanted to connect. It was being cluttered with outside debris, which was trapped in my auric field, which would have made that convertible top look raggy and chopped up. That would have been the beating hot sun or the beating elements, right? But when I took that down and cleared my crown chakra, then the beauty of the mermaid was there again. She was able to be seen as she was and see. That's how I get it from me. It helps with mood swings. And women have, cycles, but I also spoke about men having cycles, depression cycles or anxiety cycles. So it helps with those swings. So you want to keep that within your aura as long as possible for its calming energy. Keep it under your pillow when you're feeling anxious. So that would be good. I definitely am serious with this stone. I told you guys this was my favorite stone. Isn't that interesting? So I know that was really, really long. We're already at 38 minutes, but it was very important. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull in, now that we know, because everyone knows that rose quartz is the greatest love and healing stone. It can heal anything. We know that pyrite is, this is pyrite, sorry, and this is hematite. Very protective stones. This is fool's gold, right? Remember, all that glitters is not gold. But this is very strong gold. Spiritual people would rather have this kind of gold, the silver, than the real gold, because this is very protective and very, very strong. And it comes in different ways, I told you. On my, see it right there to the right? Right, oops, sorry, I'm kind of far away from that. It's right there, and you can see the gold in it there. And see, this is the cat with its ear leaning down on the ancient ones, the Anasazi pottery, and the puzzle piece that says I am worthy, and all the diamonds the dragon is holding. And there's the pyrite there, and on the back is lapis lazuli, and then that is what is it called? That specific crystal is an amplifier. So those are the different types of crystals. So a spiritual person would rather have pyrite than gold, just because it's such a strong protective energy. And as I showed you, the dragon that's holding on to that moonstone, see the moonstone? How interesting. He's holding on to the moon. And he's coming out of that cave, but he's surrounded by pyrite. I built that. But I didn't know what I was doing at the time. My higher self guided me. The cat with the dragon protective in the cave. And this crystal, Faden crystal, Faden quartz crystal. Faden quartz crystal. We need to know this too. You guys, I will timestamp the cards so you don't have to go forward. The people that aren't interested in the crystals and the messages, you can just go forward to your reading. I should have said that before, sorry. And but the Faden quartz crystal is said to be an excellent transmitter. It contains a lot of information from our planet. I'm very, very into crystals, as is my spiritual twin. And they can be programmed, but they need to be cleansed when we first get them, as with most. They have a very strong healing element wherever there is any disconnection involved. And you can use that in the physical, like broken bones, torn ligaments, any type of severing of parts. So you would think about that. If anything or anyone would be severed, this stone. And isn't it interesting that I chose to put that on my spiritual twins message? Crystal pile, right? This is my spiritual twins asking him to listen to the Anasazi, right? And I've got it. Look at the size of the one behind it. That is Faden crystal quartz. I didn't know at the time why I was putting it there. There's my stone, the loyal rose quartz from Arizona, right? I got that in Sedona, and I have here also another Faden quartz crystal, and then I am the dragon there, and this is the yin and the yang, and this is the dark and the light of the heart moon, and the rainforest, and then we have the Eiffel Tower, because we will not be silenced. And this is that little stone that, remember, I found at the ocean, and I sent my energy across to my twin when he was in another country. So this is my Faden crystal quartz, and I didn't realize why I was putting that on there. And it works the same way that it works to help with disconnection in body parts or ligaments. It also is that way for relationships. If a split was meant to be, then it will help mend your mind and heart, enabling you to understand, it's healthy for us not to be. And that way, it is able to deal with the cords that connect the holder to another person. So it can also facilitate better communication between people and enhance that relationship. It's a great crystal for those who are seeking the truth. And it can be used to enhance telepathic activities. So for me, I'm going to be carrying my Faden quartz crystal and my lepidolite. Right? Well, this is how we find out the crystals that we need. And this is like when I make these crystal clusters for you guys, this is why we find out what the stones that we need, and then we make them together. You can have, this is a meditation. This is a cosmic cluster. This is amazing, all that it has in it. And then you can have smaller ones such as this, which has got the pyrite and the hematite and the rose quartz, right? This one, malachite, amethyst, rose quartz, with the message of courage, with a giant amplifier, because the clear quartz is always the amplifier. Now, this is interesting to me. This is also muscovite mica, but this is not the lepidolite lithium mica, right? So while this is beautiful, for me, this is what is required. So if you're seeking the truth, if you want to go into a deeper meditative state, it's a high vibrating stone. High vibration brings you into attunement. So now with that, what we're going to do is what Spirit, and I'm bringing them all. I'm bringing in the Faden quartz because I want to amplify it. And I'm going to bring in the clear quartz because I want to amplify that. The one that was feeling so, and whoever this might represent, you get to choose who this goes to. The one who was wearing the blue-gray hat, the owl, that was angry behind that wall, needed to feel the love that surrounded them. So we all get to choose somebody now, and we're going to breathe this in. And as we exhale, we send that energy and all of this to that person. I'm holding my breath if you can't tell. And see it going from your heart chakra right into theirs. Okay. I like that. That was awesome. And that just fell on the desk because Spirit knew that needed to be said. Now, these 3 fell on the desk as well. Take time to meditate, which is what we're going to do definitely with that, right? The messages that we just got. Focus on what you really want. And take time to feel the love of your guides, because we're not doing this alone. Remember I said when I was feeling confused, Father, I need your help. And it came immediately. It came immediately in the form of the owl. The owl is one of my main messengers. And it is my spiritual twin's messenger. So all of the messages that we got, I'm sure they're helpful to you. Now we also have the cardinal totem, which gave me a message in itself. Just being that I see, that's how, remember I told you yesterday I couldn't explain to you why I know the things that I know and how I put them together. I still can't, because it doesn't really, and you don't need to know, because it's my own personal reasons for knowing what I know. But I looked at that lepidolite, and my higher self said, Cardinal, you know what that means? And I said, yes, I know what that means. So there's a message for you guys. There's a reason I brought it up. So for the cardinal totem, I always think a male comes a courting. That's what always has meant to me. A male comes a courting. But it also represents knowing your own nobility, right? And being proud of it. Not seeing yourself as insignificant or unable to do anything that you need to do, because we are all capable of doing anything we set our minds to. Nothing is a barrier. There is no brick wall that Spirit can't break down. Remember, the message was, Spirit's going to show you a place in the wall where it's already come down. So remember, knowing your own nobility. It's not about bragging. It's just knowing who you are and what the abilities that you have. So when the cardinal comes forward, they want you to listen closely to your intuition and pay attention and follow the guidance that you get there. Now, everybody has a different way of, like I said, I can't even explain to you why I know what I know and how I'm going to act on it and what it means. I know. I listen, and I don't mess with it. I don't doubt it. I believe it 100%, and it's very clear. I woke up this morning in a fog, right? I was in a fog, and it took a little while, but it's crystal clear now. So Cardinal tells you, you will have what you need at the precise moment that you need it. Not a minute before, not a minute afterwards. Everything is about divine timing. We don't see the overall of what's going on. Everybody has a different story, right? And we all mix with each other. We all connect to one another, but everybody's story is different. But Spirit is able to watch it all. We are all connected, but we can't see what's going on in another's life or another's mind or the circumstances or what their next move is going to be, right? Spirit does. So we listen to Spirit's advice and we do what they say. So make sure you balance your spiritual ideas along with your physical, So yes, that's a balance between your physical life and your spiritual life. That's why yesterday I needed to go. I went to a little thrift store and I got myself a couple really cute shawl type things that I like. And I was just going to then leave and go to my daughter's to bring her the orchid for her anniversary. And then I thought, no, you know what? I said I was going to go through the old town and I want to see if there's music. And I almost didn't do it. I literally actually left and went around the block and then went back. And then, so see, there's my higher self was telling me, no, go back, go back. We're supposed to do certain things. I had that happen when I was in Wisconsin. I was supposed to say something to someone. I was supposed to do something in a certain order, and I didn't do it that way. And I left. It went wrong because I didn't do it in the order I was told to do it. So I'm learning from that experience because I had to go back later and do it, and it had ruined it. So listen to the messages that you get from Spirit and follow that guidance clearly. If you don't do it right, you might miss an opportunity. So yesterday, I was going to leave, and I literally drove around the entire, I can't explain to you how far I went, and then I came back. And then remember, I went around and around that parking lot 4 times, and I thought, I'm not supposed to go. But I knew I was supposed to have recreation. I knew I was supposed to, I've wanted to dance and I've wanted to sing. So yes, my spiritual life is very important and my connections are very, very important. But I work so hard and I'm always alone. I've been alone for 4 years. And I needed that, right? In between my visits to my soul family back in Wisconsin, I don't have anyone. So this is about balancing your spiritual world with your physical world. And it's the only way to achieve balance and bring harmony. The only way to bring harmony into your life that way is to achieve that balance. So Cardinal is telling you need to be more clear as to what your intentions are. Set a clear, insightful goal for yourself, and you're going to accomplish what you're asking and more. Focus and set your intentions clearly in order to expedite matters, because we can slow things down or we can mess things up. Remember, we don't want to miss a very important opportunity. Make sure that you're aware of exactly what you're manifesting, and then make the corrections, whatever there are that you're being guided to make. It can also be letting you know that you should be on your own, and you should be your own first priority, as in you. You're thinking way too much about everyone else. You're worrying about everyone else, but now it's about you. You're the priority. Take good care of yourself first. Because basically, if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be any good to anyone else. So for me, I needed to relax, right? All work and no play makes Sherry a very dull girl. And I was able to get up there and dance without any alcohol in me, which I've never done in my entire life. So that was a new. I can also let you know that it's time to start the new projects that you've been thinking about. And if the cardinal is your animal messenger, or your totem, or one of them, you know how to listen to your inner voice and your intuition very well. You're in touch with your feminine side, and you're capable of great sensitivity. Cardinal people are the initiators. They're the pioneers, the first ones in line. So it's a good cardinal. You think about the red of the cardinal, that's an Aries. That's me, right? We're the forerunners. So that's why I resonate with it, and this is definitely one of my messengers. When I lived in Sedona, they nested right outside my window. So, and I was thinking about my dream the other night. There are some birds that are called wallflowers. They nest high up on the wall, and there are others who are out running around. Think about that. That pops up in my mind right now. So, and then I saw the nest, remember, up on the wall. So then, if you are, I'll just call you a cardinal. If you're a cardinal totem, you've got the gift of self-promotion, and you enjoy taking the leadership role with most projects. And you are, and generally all of these people, they know where to start things, but they know when to end them as well. They've got excellent strategy skills, and they handle power very well. They like new challenges and are constantly starting up new things. They have a healthy dose of self-importance, which means they're self-respecting, and they're able to self-manifest. It's not ego. There's a difference between being haughty and arrogant. Can't stand braggers. Haughty, arrogant people, not good. Not good. Heard that yesterday. Not a good idea. I heard that. I know. I figured that one out. Haughty, arrogant, bragger. This is balanced. This is, I know who I am, and I have a sense of self-respect. So you are inevitably the one to notice what needs to be handled and what needs to be done. So with this as your totem, you reflect on past life connections, and clearly you do have a reverence for more traditional religious beliefs, regardless of denomination. Connections with church. Now, I don't like religion and I don't like church, but I have respect. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and there was a reason for it. I was raised with high integrity and high morals, and I like to use the Bible messages. You don't feed everybody. You teach them how to fish for themselves, and then they're able to take care of themselves. That's a very loud message that we as empaths have to learn. Remember, the person who needed lepidolite is so busy taking care of everyone else, they're not taking care of themselves. And even in this message, you need to make sure that you are the priority. You teach them how to take care of themselves, and then they can take care of themselves. You don't have to do it. All right, so wow, we're at 53 minutes and 53 seconds. So we have a message, and then we'll go to our first card. 53. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go into meditation after this. The Ascended Masters are helping you change your life in positive ways. Ask for their help with in any aspect of the situation, such as additional ideas, opportunities, courage, and so forth. Yesterday, when I was driving into Old Town and along the freeway, I kept seeing 333 everywhere. And after I left Old Town and I went to my daughter's to take her orchid to her, and it was interesting because when I got there, her best friend was there, her best friend from the old school. They knew each other when they were young. And they were there. She was there visiting my daughter, and because my daughter's not been very well, and she doesn't live in the same area. I said, wow, you don't live here anymore. And she said, no, And it was really nice seeing them. I gave her a hug. It felt fantastic. You know, it feels really good. I should have probably done that with my friend that I hadn't seen in a long time, but they were with somebody, and it just, the whole situation felt quite uncomfortable. So, nice to see old friends like that. My daughter was in tears. She was so grateful that she was able to see her best friend. It had been a long, long time. So, when I saw 333 on the way there too, and I realized, you know, the Ascended Masters are the ones that are helping. So call upon them when you're feeling at a loss. And that's what I did this morning. I called upon my Ascended Masters, and I called my Father first. I said, I need you. I need you right now. And you think about that man who came and rescued the baby bears out of the water. Right? And how the mama wanted to hug him. I get that. All right, we're going to go to our first message at 55 minutes and 58 seconds in. And this message, now as I said, everybody's going to get a different message. A different deck. Transgression. Okay, oops, sorry. I always apologize, like my cards are people. They're my sacred tools, so they are very important to me. So, flaws, contradictions, mistake. You see this one, she's holding this steer head, a skull, but look at that crystal horn. Looks like a unicorn horn. It's almost like a metal, almost looks like brass knuckles, doesn't it? How it goes between the knuckles. Remember I heard when he comes with crystals in his hands? It looks like that. Knuckles, right? So there's this calf. Why did I call it a calf? I did. So it's a young one. The skull of a young one. With that, it almost looks like a screw too, right? Screwed right into their head. Interesting that I saw something different first. I saw the unicorn, and look, there's unicorns behind there. I didn't see those unicorns first. I saw what I saw. And this is white, which represents purity. But now I'm seeing this brass screw. And this one holding on to the head of this young one that's like a shell. It's almost like the Day of the Dead. Transgression, flaws, contradictions. Well, that's a contradiction in itself, isn't it? I mean, this is a unicorn's head. Why didn't I see that? Your unicorn is dead. The man that I met yesterday, one of the guys, the really nice people, he says, I'm looking for a unicorn. But not just any unicorn. Oh my God. I'm looking for a unicorn, but just not just any unicorn. A spiritual unicorn. So that's a unicorn skull. Your unicorn is dead. I'm just getting messages myself here. And I'm looking at the monkey, you know, not my war, not my monkeys, right? Or stop monkeying around. Monkeys are mischievous. Contradiction, and that is a contradiction. Bright, shiny, that's sad. There's a contradiction between the unicorn and this monkey business. The unicorn's different than the monkey business. The monkey business is English. It's an English flag. What is this one? So the message from the vampire oracle, it's called Le Vampire. They're talking about how there are so many in the world that delight in finding others' faults and bragging and proving how wonderful they are. Isn't that interesting how we were speaking about braggers and they'll point them out, their flaws. You're worse than me, right? And what could be anything more horrible than killing that sacred unicorn? Leaving that one to mourn. the loss of the one they loved. So it's talking about, hunters, that's glorious to them to catch. But this is false glory. And it's disturbing. And it's about hurting others, sinning against others. How ones have done that and they cannot be forgiven. And basically, those other ones that glory in guilting these people, and they manipulate them, and it makes them feel self-righteous. You've done this, and so they needle you. They make you feel bad for yourself. Remember what that man said to me yesterday? He said, don't ever tell an Indian chief he's a crushed acorn. I did that. I told an Indian chief he was a crushed acorn, and it made him mad. Because you think about the acorn grows into a mighty oak. And I was speaking about the acorn man of the forest. Don't ever tell an Indian chief, because this one knows their ancestry. This one knows who they are, right? That he's a crushed acorn. You never say that, because he's not. He's capable of much. And so these ones are needling and finding they get power out of making others feel bad for their mistakes. And they manipulate them with their sense of self-righteousness. Because everybody at times has done something that's gone against their values. We all have. We've all done things that we are regretful of. And sometimes we've done things that we know we've sinned against our own soul. We have, and we know that. So when you look at this card and you wonder what you've done wrong, know that's this. That you've assumed it's incorrect of you to recognize and feel and think and assume that your faults or your flaws or the poor decisions that you made are mistakes that you must carry forever and are more ghastly than anything anyone else has ever done, because that's not the truth. We all feel remorse. And when we do that, we can feel remorse. There are those who don't, the ones who delight in pointing out your flaws and things that you've done wrong, and they don't forgive you, right? Those ones, because they feel better than you. That makes them feel powerful. If you're worse than them, then they're powerful, which is such ridiculousness. We can feel remorse. And when we take the steps to correct the things in our life, then and do better, that's what's required of us. So right now, in this message, you're being told again and again by either someone else in your vicinity or your own mind that you're guilty, you're wrong, and you can never be forgiven. But that's not true. You need to take the steps to correct what can be corrected and apologize clearly. And if it's done the right way, actually, it just needs to come from your heart. It just needs to come from a place of love. I'm sorry. I'm sincere. You can't take back what was done. And once you have done that, you're able to forgive yourself. Because otherwise you are continually like water. Oh, look at the sparrow. The victory sparrow. He came right up to the window and said hello, right at the window, right up to the screen. The screen blurs your vision. He came up like he was pecking on the screen to remove it. That's what I feel. He's removing that screen so you can see more clearly. To help you understand that it's like water eroding like if you had water pouring down on this sand. This is made from sand, this red rock. But after a while it erodes. It'll right through it. You're doing that to yourself. Your own value. Because someone else is trying to make you feel bad. And they're encouraging you to feel bad. Why would anybody do that? So there's no good in hurting yourself over and over again to prove how sorry you are. What does that help? You need to live a better life. Do better. Make better choices, but stop punishing yourself. And don't let others take your how can I word this? Your feelings of remorse. You're such a kind, compassionate person. See, inside you truly are that. And somebody knows that and they're working it and they're using it. Don't let them do that. Don't let them manipulate that so that they can use your own remorse to their own ends. Because you feel guilty, so now you're obligated to do this. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to go against the natural law and our soul. We all, at times we all do that. But what we do afterwards is what matters, right? So right now it's about making amends. Go make amends and give thanks for self-forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself. Now, if you're looking at this in the right way, it's speaking about when we do go against our own integrity, our soul will let us know that. And if we continue to not listen to our inner voice, then the universe will show us where we're going wrong. We're able to see it. But if we're not listening to our message from Spirit, we're pushing out our inner voice. Wasn't that one of the messages that we got today? Your inner voice needs to be heard. You're not listening to your inner voice. If we continue down the path that we're on, that we know is against the truth of our very soul, of who we are, then we break the universal laws of Spirit. So right now, make amends. Take stock of where you are, reassess the situation, and then redirect yourself and get back into harmony with your soul. This death of this beautiful unicorn that she's holding on to, that she misses so much, this is a death of an old part of your life, past part of your life. Somebody may have done something that killed a part of you, but you can be reborn into another. You don't need to carry that monkey on your back, this chattering monkey, which is in your own thoughts or maybe someone else making you feel bad about yourself. You need to remember your divinity and realize that death, yes, that death happened, but you know what? That was the death of the old. And now you will be, this is a magical unicorn. You will be rebirthed if you choose. It's your choice. And look at this. There you are. I am the magnet, you are steel. I always hear that song. And there she sits, her third eye illuminated, checkered. I'm looking at the checkered past, holding up a magnet and drawing into my life. Now this is a message. This might have been your checkered past, but you're sitting on a floral seat of love and healing, and there's a lot of healing around you, and your sacral chakra colors, sexual energy and creativity. And also it's a blend. It's not really orange, it's not really yellow, it's a blend. So then your solar plexus as well. I am capable of doing anything I set my mind to. And yes, I have a checkered past, we all do. But I am connecting with my higher self. I am realizing that I am loved. I am getting the healing that is all around me. I'm feeling this vibration. It's like this vibration. And I will draw to me what is in my highest good. Get ready and stay open to possibilities. You are a powerful magnet drawing the perfect people and situations into your life now. That's right. Oh my God. How many times do we have to get this message? Friends at this time. Let's be friends at this time. It's important to be friends at this time. I need friends at this time. I need true friends at this time. This one with the checkered past that is sitting on the seat of love with healing all around needs to draw them to themselves friends at this time. They don't need the people that they were around before. At this time, I need a friend. That's understood. Harmony. Disharmony occurs when we try to resist life's natural flow. Everything has its cycle. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose. Every day can be harmonious if we want it to be. So like the first message said with the vampire, we have the ability to make amends, forgive ourselves, stop allowing those monkey mind thoughts to tell you that you're bad and that you constantly that you can be manipulated by that into doing what you know is not in your highest good. You have a choice to recognize this is not the death, a permanent death. This is a death of the old way, but you still have this magical unicorn horn, which will bring you back to life. in your rebirth, and you're on the opposite side of those monkeys, of that big goon, of that big ape. You choose to go on this side. And you go where there are true friends. And you allow Spirit to help draw into you the ones that are on your same vibrational frequency. Remember yesterday I kept saying in the reading how I was vibrating and it felt like the person wasn't there. And I said, well, that's not true because I feel you. I feel your vibration. I've always been able to feel that energy. So at 1 hour and 10 minutes in, we go to the Faerytale Oracle, which again is a very difficult deck for me to read. Sorry, I didn't bring the hearts forward. Sorry. The first one with the vampire, this is the one I love the most. I chose the one with the new moon. The new moon is when you put out your new moon wishes, and how the moon came together with the sun to me to form a heart. This is the one I chose. Now, the one that we're having next is the one that replaced the broken heart. I used to always say that about my spiritual twin. I would feel him when he came into town. I felt his energy. When you feel somebody's energy like that, you are vibrating on the same vibrational frequency. You can't fake that. And when you're vibrating on the same frequency as someone, you're not vibrating alone. You're both vibrating on that frequency. Wild Swans, dedication. Have you guys, I'm sure, that celebrate Christmas, I don't know that everyone does. I didn't growing up my whole life. But those ornaments, those are pretty. Glass-blown ornaments, and they have something within them. You see a lot of healing here again. And love. And the white feathers. Wherever feathers appear, angels are near. Purity, innocence. So the story to the Wild Swans talks about a fairy who came out to meet this one. Her hair was fair and shining, but she closely resembled an old woman who had given her berries in the forest and told of the swans who wore golden crowns on their heads. What she said to her was, your brothers can be set free, but have you the courage and tenacity to do it? The seawater that changes the shape of rough stones is indeed softer than your delicate hands, but it cannot feel the pain your fingers will feel. It has no heart, so it cannot suffer the anguish and heartache that you will have to endure. Do you see this stinging nettle in my hand? And she shows her this. Do you guys know what stinging nettle is? It hurts like a bitch. When I've gone hiking and when I've weeded in my garden in Canada and I had stinging nettles, oh my God, it burns and it lasts a long time. Many such nettles grow around the cave where you sleep. Only those and the ones that grow upon the graves in the churchyards may be used. Remember that. So she had to go to certain places to get these stinging needles. You need to gather them, and although your hands are going to burn, they will burn. Your hands, there's going to be blisters. They will burn that badly. But she's meant to do this, right? And she's supposed to crush the nettles with her feet. Now think about that. She's got burnt fingers. Now she's got burnt feet. And then she turns it into flax. And then she needs to spin that flax and makes shirts of mail. You know how the knights used to wear that mail armor, and it was like a metal loose garment? That's what she's making out of the flax from these stinging nettles. And they have to have long sleeves. So then she needs to go out, because what it was she had brothers that were turned into swans. And what she was supposed to do was throw them over the 11 swans, and then the spell would be broken. But she had to keep in mind the fact that she had to only get those stinging nettles from a certain place and what was going to happen to her, right? And from the moment you undertake this until it is finished, you must not speak. The first word that you speak will strike your brother's heart like a deadly knife. Their lives are at the mercy of your tongue. Remember, I told you that. So it's a tale of suffering in order to save a family, your family, a family member, or someone that we care for, from a fate that is not their choosing. So it wasn't their fault that they were cursed, right? Someone else did this to them. It's a tale of sacrifice. And the sacrifice has to be done without being recognized for a really long time. So in this tale, her brothers were enchanted in the form of swans. And there was only that one way to free them, by doing what that fairy told her to do, and not a word could be spoken. So for years she has burned hands and burned feet, and she's suffered pain. And no one could understand why she was doing what she did. The silence. When anyone would ask her, why are you doing that? Why do you bother? Why are you hurting yourself? But she knew the truth and she couldn't speak. She had to keep doing that because she was dedicated to saving her brothers. So there's a lot of different messages in this. When you have to help in a way that seems bizarre or strange, and other people don't understand it. It's kind of like a burn victim. You get burned, and as soon as it starts to scab, they have to peel that off. So many times it's excruciatingly painful, but it's all part of the healing process. So when we get this message, we need to know that when we see people so completely dedicated to something and so single-mindedly focused on something that you can't understand, that it's absolute madness to you, you need to recognize that it may not be what you may not be able to understand it. But if you are given this energy and you're doing this, you can bring about great healing and change. So the message could be that you need to just allow it to happen and not judge it. It could also mean that your own dedication, of course, other people think you're crazy, right? People actually get very upset. But it's going to result in healing, creativity, and major breakthroughs. Just as her work did. She saved the one she loved, right? She was in a lot of pain for many years, and she couldn't explain to other people why she was doing what she had to do. What's interesting is her name is Elisa. And in my dreams, I always see somebody called Elise, which is my daughter's name. And I saw yesterday that it represents me. My daughter is like my mother. My daughter is like me. You look at the daughter, you see the mother. Just like, you see the father and you see the son. Interesting to me. And just as her work is painful and it's bizarre, it does save the ones she loves from the spell that they've been under. Remember, I told you guys, somebody's been working black magic. Their aunt. They were using binding spells. And so I've also spoken about how it doesn't matter what dark energy they use to hold ones and what bind them. No one is stronger than spirit, and the light is stronger than the darkness. And this one has feathers adorning her of purest white. She can break that spell. So it's about dedication to work, tenacity, working through pain to get the results that you need, single-minded passion, a misunderstood dedication, silently working with dedication without explaining it to anyone. Sorry, it's blurry right now, but we have our victory sparrow here again. My little businessman. He's figured out where I've hid the flowers. See, I had them in a different spot before, so now he's found out where they are and he's getting what he needs. He's happily eating. I find it interesting the things that he chooses. He's picking on the aloe part, so he's getting the moisture. So he's getting the emotion. He's feeling the emotion. So for a message to myself, to continue to send that emotion out, strong, the love. It talks about working without the approval of others, but mostly working without anyone understanding why you're doing what you're doing. There's a method to your madness. They don't understand it, and right now you can't tell them. But that's okay. For you, it's worth it. Whatever it is that you're trying to, bring a business to life, work on a relationship that's had difficulties, and try and, sometimes people, there's a message. people have hurt one another. Now, if I told my friends this is what happened, they wouldn't want them to be with that person, right? They would want to be on my side. Why would you want to go there? They did that. But you have deep, deep love and a connection for this person, and you want to work through the issues. That's your choice. So here you are, focused, because you realize what's at stake for you, what it means to you, but it's madness to someone else, right? You can't explain it to them. And so it's best not to. It's best not to say anything about it at all, right? There's a message in itself. When you have difficulties with others, or you find things out, if somebody says something to you about what has happened, you don't tell anyone. If you love that person, you don't divulge their secrets. It's very important for the relationship to have trust and respect and boundaries. You don't have to divulge your personal messages to anyone. And you shouldn't if you truly love someone. So here, worthiness. She's in a milk bath. Remember when I said, when my skin was so dry, I kept saying how I just want to stick my face in a bucket of milk, because I knew that for me, milk was nourishing. You think of mother's milk. That's love, that's nourishment. And if you really truly love someone, a mother breastfeeds her baby, that's going to be the most, you get anti-venom, literally. Your baby won't get any sickness. Even if you're sick, they won't get it if they drink from your breast milk, because there's anti-virus in the milk itself. And you see this one on a full moon night with all the stars out, caring for themselves, recognizing, I deserve this. I deserve to treat myself. I deserve this mother's milk. I deserve to be nurtured and loved. There's green here for healing and love, blue for truth and speaking the truth, stars coming out at night, connecting to the stars, full moon magic. When the full moon, we let go of everything that no longer serves us so that we can move forward into the new moon with our new moon wishes. So here on the night of the full moon, she knows that she deserves to care for herself. You don't see her taking care of anyone else. She probably has been taking care of everyone. But now it's time to take care of herself. On the full moon night, she's going to do a special ritual where she lets go of everything that doesn't serve her, everyone and everything, and focuses on nurturing and love for self, because she recognizes she's worthy. And you see the color of the sacral chakra, again, all wrapped around you. Seat of sexual energy and creativity, and I can do it myself. Solar plexus in the sun, I am worthy, worthiness. And the pink aster flowers, and the purple violets, purple high spiritual color, hot pink, passion, love. You are worthy. There's nothing that is too good to be true for someone as wonderful as you. Sometimes something comes to us and you think, it's too good to be true. You've wanted something for so long and all of a sudden it's standing right in front of you. But nothing is too good to be true. You are worthy. Know that you deserve the very best. And life gives you everything you need to be happy. Say it like it is. Speak the truth. Sacred space. We, your guardian angels, surround you with emerald, gold, and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter this sacred space of love and healing. Well, that's where she is right now, right? That's the sacred space where she's connecting to spirit, loving herself. That's my sacred space, right? With my osprey flying to me when I'm at the lake. Look at the love and the protection of the divine masculine above. You are worth it. You need to say it like it is. And don't worry, and allow spirit to carry it for you. And you don't have to tell everybody. And you don't have to tell anybody. remember what slipped out yesterday? I was trying to say unconditional love, and I said a different word. Confidential love. Confidential love. At 1 hour and 24 minutes in, we go to the copycat heart. But it wasn't the same as this one. It was similar, but not the same. This is the Akashic Tarot. Now we see the Ascent. Bummer that we are in the reverse. However, it doesn't mean that anybody or anything has to stay in the reverse. We can turn things around. Here you see the climber. He's climbed very high. It's probably been a very long, arduous journey to get to the top of that mountain. You can see his grappling hooks that he had to pound into the rock. It's hard to do that. I've done rock climbing. It's hard as hell. Rappelling back down is really easy, but going up is a nightmare. You get to the top, though, and wow, what a view. So this one is feeling quite accomplished at that difficult task that he's accomplished all by himself, got to the top of that rocky mountain. There's no branches to hold on to there. But if you have this in reverse, he's falling off his mountain. So it's about loss. Loss of a position, like choosing to leave a job suddenly, a fall from grace in your reputation or maybe your career. It could speak to efforts that you have put in that just don't pay off. You've worked really, really hard to reach a higher position in your life, but it seems to have eluded you. No matter how hard you work, you're starting over from the bottom. Maybe you're just barely getting by. But this is a time that you make long-term plans. It could be you're making these long-term efforts, but you don't see any of the rewards. Maybe you need to think about a new approach. It's also talking about when you get to the top of the mountain, what they do is they set a flag down, generally. And here he's happy with where he's been. He's climbed this arduous journey, done his hard work, got to a place, and he's satisfied where he is, and he's going to plant his flag. But in the reverse, the sun is not shining on you like it is on him. Things aren't clear up above. Now, that's all you see. Sun's below you. You don't have your path illuminated. The message is, you might be thinking that you should place your flag in a different place. Where you thought you once were going to put your flag, you're now putting it somewhere else. Or you should. That's what Spirit wants you to think about. Because right now, you've got yourself tied up in bondage. You're not being kept there by anyone. You're in self-imposed bondage. And how did you even do that? How did you even tie yourself up in such knots? By feeling like a failure? By feeling like you let somebody down, that you made the wrong choices? We all do that. But you can get out of these knots. You're sitting there. You're not a victim. Remember what that man said to me? Never tell an Indian chief that he's a crushed unicorn. Crushed unicorn. Wow. So the unicorn and the acorn are the same person. There we go. And remember that unicorn that was dead, that the girl was holding on to. But that unicorn horn was magic. It was the death of something, not the end. They could be reborn if they chose to be. To get away from the goon and go to their partner, the other unicorn. The other unicorn can bring the other one back to life. Because you saw the, I'm going to show you, I'm getting so many messages. I know I'm going to go back. But clearing. Time for clearing, sorry. That unicorn horn is magic. It's still alive. And if you connect with your other unicorn, this will be your rebirth. If you get away from the big goons, the monkeys, the monkey mind, the monkey business, and you stick to the light, remember who you are, and forgive yourself, get out of your own bondage, move forward, recognizing everyone makes mistakes. And so, you know, when we have the falling tower and things fall apart and you ask yourself, why did that happen? Because it wasn't meant for you. It wasn't in your highest good. Well, why did I have to go through all of that? because it taught you a lot of things about yourself and about other people. It taught you what a true friend is. It taught you what fake friends are. It taught you that money isn't, the means to an end isn't okay. It taught you that your soul and your life's purpose is more important than financial gain. It taught you how to love yourself. It taught you to stop putting everyone in front of you and that you deserved a life of your own. And it taught you about forgiveness. And when we've done something and someone forgives us for something quite heavy, then we can forgive others. Some things I never thought I could ever forgive. I never thought I could ever forgive. It had never been done to me before. And I thought, no, I couldn't do that. And I've surprised myself at recognizing that when faced with it, the choice of walking away or forgiving, even though it broke your heart, you know, if the love is strong, I heard Spirit said to me, you're going to choose love over money. Of course, that's a given, right? But the message was love. You would choose from love. And I would. Something that I thought I never could forgive, I now realize that I have already forgiven it. So for you, what is it that's keeping you bound up? You're not a victim. You've bound yourself up with your own negative thinking. Stop it now. Challenge yourself to replace negative expectations with a positive outlook. Prepare for rapid change in your life. We got that in the earlier message, remember? I want you guys to see this. I want you to see them. They're mockingjays. Mockingjays can copycat, right? They can sound like a cat. They can do anything. They tell you to speak your truth. They tell you to sing out. It's a couple. And they're dancing in the air. What I've watched, I've never been able to capture it in film. It's so difficult. They're on the palm tree. There's one right there. There's the other, the mate. They go wherever one goes, the other follows. But what they do is they're dancing in the air. Air represents words, and it's harmony. It was so beautiful. It's so beautiful to watch them dance. They're never too far from each other. But when I think about air and words, and the fact that they're flying in the air, it's like the vibration. They're connected. They're dancing in harmony. We need to bring harmony back into our lives. I'm thinking of air. Air is words, so we need to speak, right? You didn't get to see it, unfortunately. It's very beautiful to see them dance together like that. So it could be like talking about a connection between you and another, an energetic connection, right? Telepathic connection, dancing, because dancing in harmony is connecting. So you blew it. It all fell apart. You worked so hard to get so far, and it all fell apart. So what are you going to do? You're just going to stay there all wrapped up in bondage, and because other people have made you feel guilty and bad, you're going to just lay there dead, and you're going to listen to what someone has said, and they're going to blame you for and make you feel bad, and you can't move forward. You're going to listen to what everybody else has to say, or are you going to recognize that you are worthy, that you deserve love? Because I'm going to say it like it is. Harmony. It only occurs when we resist the natural flow. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose, and every day can be harmonious if we want it to. Those birds, they came together for a minute, and then they pulled apart again. Why? They needed to communicate. They needed to say it like it was. They needed to understand that they were worthy. They needed to realize that they are surrounded with love and healing, and that they need to surrender their worries and concerns to Spirit, because they'll be taken care of. And then they will have harmony. It didn't work out because it wasn't in your highest good. And you may not know why right now. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But there was a reason, and Spirit knows what that reason is. And right now, you need a real friend at this time. So if you wrap yourselves up in these bondage ties of unworthiness, I can't move forward, I've done it, there's no point, and then you choose to just be dead to the world, recognize there are ones that care so much for you that they would go through years of burning pain and others scoffing at them to be a friend to you. Remember, you need to focus on what you truly want. And you need to feel the love of your guides that are there to guide you. But what does it say? Take time to feel it. They came together and they danced. I watched them again and again, but then he went over there and she came back over here to the palm tree. Take the time, meditate, and focus on what you really want. You deserve a friend at this time. And you need to be your own friend, a true friend to yourself, and recognize that I got that far and I can get farther the next time. I've learned my lessons. I won't be doing it this way. I'll be doing it in a different way. I've realized who I want to work with and who I don't want to work with. It's taught me a lot about myself. A recovery is indicated. You're not feeling like that right now. You're battered and bruised from that fall. And you're all tied up in knots. And you don't quite see how you can undo it. But Spirit's going to, they've already showed you. You need to communicate is the main thing. You need to sit down and communicate with Spirit or with whoever it is to bring harmony back into your life. Stop resisting the flow. It happened for a reason. Stop worrying about the past. Recognize that the love and the healing, and you need some lepidolite. That's why we blew it into your heart. Recovery is indicated. And Archangel Michael is the one that's going to protect you and bust down the walls. And check it out, what he's told you. The path is now clear. I have removed all obstacles in your way. You can move forward now with ease and confidence. You will achieve what your heart desires. A recovery is indicated. This is false perception. False evidence appearing real, which is fear. False expectations appearing real. Because based on the past. This is the past. The past is over. This is the present. The path being clear. No obstacles. You can move forward. But the word is can. You need to change that with I will move forward. With confidence and ease. I will achieve what my heart desires. You're not a crushed acorn. You're an Indian chief. And you have the ability to climb back up. But you know what? You're not going to climb that mountain. There's nothing there in that mountain. There was nothing there for you. Look at it. It's dry and barren. It's like that beautiful woman sitting there with her top off. She looked great with her top off. As soon as she put her top back on, she's pretty raggedy, right? That's a raggedy looking mountaintop that you got to. Spirit says, take your flag and plant it somewhere else where it's beautiful. And if you choose to do that, we all get free will. But if you do, a recovery is indicated. Pretty amazing message. It started out pretty sad and ended up pretty freaking awesome. So at 1 hour and 38 minutes in, we go to our last, which is the Red Heart from Arizona. It's actually rose pink, but it's made from the sandstone. Sedona. I love Sedona. That's a place where I'd plant my flag. Flagstaff. Interesting. I love the area with the trees there in Flagstaff. There's lakes up there too. Okay, so now we go to the Divine Circus Oracle, and I know everybody likes this one. The Juggler. I can't help it. I'm sorry. The first thing that comes to mind is somebody juggling to more than one person. Like, a third-party situation. But a juggler can also represent juggling different friends. These friends are this way, and those friends are that way, and they don't mix. So I'm juggling. I've got one on one hand, one on the other, right? Could be outside interference. So it also could represent you're just juggling things right now. You've got too many fires in the fire, too many pans in the fire, right? Like I'm juggling. I juggle this work and I juggle my work online. So maybe you are doing that as well. It could be projects all over the place. You got a project here, you got a project there. It could be thoughts. I'm juggling which action to take, what commitment to make. And then something else shows up, right? God, one thing after another. So right now, Spirit's saying, don't delay. It's all going to work out perfectly. They give you a little rhyme. Many projects in the air, aspirations and inspirations everywhere, actions to take, commitments to make, and yet another will soon join the fray. Say yes, do not delay. It will all work out in the perfect way. I'm going back to, what was it that I saw? What crystal did I see? Right here. Remember I saw the one that saved the baby and the mama, and then I saw the one, and then I said another one joined? That's what it said, another one joined in. Many projects in the air, aspirations and inspirations everywhere, action to take, commitments to make, and yet another will soon join the fray. So yes, do not delay. It will all work out in the perfect way. So Spirit's telling you you're capable of this. You're capable of many things at once. And they're focusing on love. They're telling you that you're too important to leave your love idle. So Spirit's saying right now, you've got a lot of ideas, creative ideas and urges. And because of that, life in the universe is going to ask a lot of you. You're going to get a lot of inspirations and ideas, dreams that you're going to want to bring to life. And you're going to wonder if it's too much for one person to do, right? I'm already juggling so much right now. If one more thing, one more idea, one more anything comes to me, I'm going to drop it all. You know, it's all going to come undone. The whole damn thing's going to blow up if I have to do one more thing. But the juggler is the multitasker. I'm a major multitasker. I'm constantly multitasking. And with that, we acquire skill and wisdom. And we figure out tricks that will successfully bring what it is that we need, our dreams, our ideas, our projects, into life. But Spirit wants us to be open to even more flowing through us. So to whom much is given, much is expected. And that's just the way it goes. To whom much is expected, much is given. Right? So if you've got a lot that you have to do, Spirit's going to give you the help you need. Spirit's going to give you the assistance, the energy, the ideas, the plans, the getaway plan, the route, the escape route. If you're in a place where things aren't going well and you got to escape that, they'll give you, what is that called? An escape clause, right? Spirit figures out all the ways to do that. I'm just thinking about something right now. Maybe you need to write in an escape clause into something. That came up for a reason. So how are you going to do this without becoming overwhelmed? Well, you're going to use your muscovite lepidolite mica. That helps you. Absolutely. It helps you. See, it brings things into order. It helps you slow things down so that you aren't distracted by the monkey minds or the chattering birds or the friends that are talking in your ear. You know where your heart wants to go. You know what you want to do. You got a lot of things going, but you tend to get distracted easily. This helps you not become distracted easily. It helps people with attention deficit disorder. It helps people with bipolar, where you swing from one idea to another, where you get very emotional and overwhelmed. You won't with that. So call that lepidolite mica, lithium mica, into circuit. Put it on your left thumb and rub it over your third eye and say, lepidolite, lithium mica, lavender lithium mica, say that 5 times fast, into circuit. How can I do it without getting stuck in the fantasy of it, the dream, right? You're a great dreamer. But I don't, what is that, what is that movie? Failure to Launch, right? Failure to Launch. By, what is this, Matthew McConaughey? His parents, were like, This guy is just never going to get married. Failure to launch. So maybe that's you with your idea. Failure to launch. So you've got to ground yourself, right? You've got to stop just the thinking of it and daydreaming and even night dreaming, and build your idea into the physical. And do whatever it takes. And sometimes it's difficult, right? Often it's difficult. It's not easy. Like this one who has to now start over again, but a recovery is indicated, right? It was you can get out of those knots. It's just like a magician. You are the magician. If you are the juggler, you are the magician. And the magician can untie the knots. Tie them as tight as you want, but I can get out of them. I can do anything I set my mind to, right? And Archangel Michael is going to help you as soon as you get out of your own mental mind, because there are no real obstacles in the way. You can move forward with these and you will achieve it. So as the juggler and the magician, you're capable of doing that. So if you are getting overwhelmed, you're going way too far into the future. Right? Take it slowly, a little at a step. Just bring it back to the center is what the juggler is telling you. And do what you can do right now. What steps can you take care of right now? Do you need to communicate? Do you need to set a plan? No, you have got a plan. You've been overanalyzing. Prioritize. What is the most important thing that has to happen today? What can be left until tomorrow? And then recognize that in the circus, this is the divine circus, right? This guy, the juggler, he doesn't have to be alone. They always work they have solo performers, but they have efforts that are combined with others. Like you see the one on the trapeze going from one to the other. There's a gap. If you went across and tried to get from one side of the trapeze to the other, there's no way. But your partner will come and meet you halfway in the middle. Meet me in the middle. And then grab a hold of your hands and swing across to the other side. So you want to do this, combine efforts. And then the magic is created. So ask for help. And remember that whenever you succeed at anything, that's a success for the greater whole. Because we're all talking about spiritual people here, right? That's why we're all listening to this. When you succeed, we all benefit because we become stronger as a whole. And the universe wants us to succeed. And they're going to keep an eye on those pots that are boiling so they don't boil over. But they're telling you right now, there's one pot that you need to stir right now so it doesn't bubble over, because it is already going over the edge. The juggler's telling you that you are going to manage everything that you need as long as you stay present and you relax. Deal with what's happening right in front of you right now and worry about, you know what, don't even worry. Don't listen to the little birds chirping in your ear. Don't pay attention to the distractions, to the flies. Allow the black Phoebe flycatcher to come along and take those flies away. Because if you do it this way, and you handle what's going on, you'll end up avoiding egg all over your face. If you're trying to juggle, mix, and another opportunity comes, it's going to be a disaster. So you're going to do it one thing at a time, one step at a time. In this message, we get a lot about communication, air, moving in harmony. Take the first step. The first step is believing in yourself. So take the wisdom that's offered to you and use it in your life in the best way possible to clear the obstacles. So in order for you to clear the obstacles, whatever they might be for you, we're supposed to sit in meditation. We've already been told that. Sit quietly with as little distraction around us as possible. So if that means shutting off your phone, your computer, shutting your door so that you're not disturbed, walking away, sitting outside where you have private space, you have to have a little bit of private space for a short time. We've done this before where we look at our hands and we touch our hands together and feel the texture of our hands. Now I can't do it with both my hands, but you go like this and you see how your hands work together, right? If you take your thumb away, you're not going to be able to grab as much. You're going to go slowly and it's going to be awkward. If you take your fingers away, you're not going to do anything except for push stuff around. But when you work together as part of a team, spiritual, real, true friends, your intuitive self, and your natural abilities, then you can get a grasp on things. So say to yourself, I am present. I dwell in the here and now. And the more I relax, and the more easily I will see what's happening now and what I need to do. The more I relax, the easier it is to accomplish what I need to accomplish, whether they be tasks or joy. I juggle them with ease and with grace. I am capable. Why? Because I'm not the juggler alone. I am the magician. I am not a crushed acorn. I am an Indian chief. My ear is down to my ancestors. I call upon the Anasazi to help me. I know they're there. I know that I'm protected and safe, and I know that I'm worthy. I know that I am just one piece in the giant puzzle. And in the whole collective, we work together as a team. Everything happens at the right time and in the best possible way, even if we don't understand it. In the end, you'll look back and see it happened the way it was meant to happen. This is true every day. Home. Where is your home? Where do you feel home? Your heart is where your home is. Your home is where your heart is. Does your home reflect who you are? I told you I saw people building a home in my dreams. Somebody said, I want 3 rooms. And the person said something about, I could close this room off and not use it. And I wouldn't waste the energy. It was like me. I had the fan that my landlord said, you could turn the air on up here if it gets too hot. Think about when things get too hot, turn on the air. And I said the vents are open in all of the big rooms that we're not using. So why don't we close the vents so that the air conditioning goes only to the room that you need it in and cools that down? Think about that. When things get too hot, close those other doors so that the things you can focus on the one area that's important to you, right? Your home. The person said, well, here are the list of homes in the area. And they said, no, in your price range. And they said, no, I can't be in this area. I want to be in this area. So they were trying to get somewhere that they could afford. What's important is that there's love in your home. Maybe you can start out smaller. Maybe you can get an apartment and work your way up. Maybe you can lease a place. But does your home reflect who you are? I've always noticed in this the eclectic taste that's going on here. The Native American wall hanging, the modern music symbol, the metal light, the antique sofa, an antique table, an antique chair with the modern furniture. This is a blending of different ideas and ways of doing things and people. They have harmoniously blended all of their differences, the eclectic, unique differences together to produce a home that's filled with love. The carpet is a burnt rose, like the color of the heart. That's love. This home rests on love and truth. They speak their truth in this home. Does your home reflect truly who you are? And what's in your home? Does it work for you? Now, that's another thing you can look at. I like antiques, right? Say all my stuff is antiques. Well, that doesn't go, and that doesn't go, and that doesn't go. What needs to be taken out of your home? What doesn't flow in your home? What is causing the flow in your home to be disrupted? It needs to go. Do you have roommates that are disturbing the peace in your home? You need to speak. This will be your last month of rent. I'm taking the house back for myself. That's what my landlord did. He rented a house to someone, and the person that moved in here, actually upstairs here, took over his whole house. He was having parties and running the house, and he basically had no say. It was like it was their house. And finally he said, you know, I'm going to be taking the house back because I've decided that and I don't even know what he said. I can't remember. My landlord's a really easygoing guy, and people take advantage of his kindness, and it's difficult for him to just come straight out and say, you know, I don't like what's happening here. You know, loud parties and things that I don't like that are going on here. They're breaking my serenity. He found himself holed up in the room downstairs because he didn't want to be disturbed with all of this happening. And it wasn't in his highest good. So what he said, I know what he said. He says, what you can do is I'll give you the studio down and I'll take the upstairs back. And the guy's like, no way, because he wanted the view, right? He wanted all of this. So the guy's like, okay. So then guy says, okay. He says, all right, well then I need to be upstairs because the noise is disturbing me. I can't sleep. And so if you don't want to take the smaller studio, I'm going to take the house back. And the guy's like, cool. So the guy moved out. He wasn't thrilled, but he moved out. And my landlord got the house back. And he said, I'll never rent to anyone else again until I came along. And he fought me for a year. And then finally he's like, okay. And because we work in harmony. I'm respectful. You want respect in your house, right? You also, it's your home. So this is your home represents your own soul, yourself. You need to have harmony in your home. There's a music note in there that represents harmony. You know what I'm seeing here? Old school. The new things now. The Native American ancestry, which is talking about knowledge from the ancestors, harmony, love. This is all based on love and spirituality. That's all in that home. And there's a star. So, if your home is not harmonious, what steps do you need to take to create harmony in your home? If you are worried, maybe you've got to move to a new home and you're trying, like in my dream, person was trying to find a place in a different area, but it wasn't in their price range. Well, you need to go smaller. Get rid of what you don't need and go smaller. You don't need to go that big. You can take it one step at a time. You don't even need to rent a house. Get an apartment. Whatever you need to do, you need to be in the right area, right? Where it's, like if you were in Phoenix or if you were in a choice between Phoenix and Sedona, Sedona is where you need to be. Or the around area, Flagstaff, that's the spiritual area. That would be the place to be. You wouldn't want to be in Phoenix or in the outskirts. It's not, you don't have the spiritual connection. So what do you have to do to get to that area? You're going to have to you have to go smaller until you can get in, work your way up. That's just the way it is. And a way will be made if that's what's to happen. All I know is, does your home reflect who you are? It needs to reflect who you are. And that means your spiritual home as in yourself as well. Make sure your home feels welcoming and reflects who you are. When your house is in order, the rest of your life falls into place. So tidy up. Now you think about your spiritual house, the juggler. He's got to stop juggling things that don't benefit him. Focus on what does benefit him. Get himself out of the knots. Recognize that what didn't work for a reason. Realize that the obstacles are not there. They can move forward because a recovery is absolutely indicated. They're going to make their home a sacred space. And they're going to surrender their worries and concerns to spirit and recognize that what I need is going to come to me if I follow the guidance that I get. I'm going to say it like it is. And I know that from my home and where I want to live, I want to be where there are friends at this time. It's important. Friends are important at this time. But good friends. Soul family. So now we're going to focus on what we really want. We're going to take the time to meditate where we can feel the love of our guides. And now we have mental clarity. So close your eyes for a minute. Breathe in the blue of the sky. Feel a gentle breeze flow through you. There is peace. There is clarity. A magical healing has just taken place. This is a gift from your guardian angel. Someone new. Are you someone new? Are you someone who was held prisoner and a part of you died Are you going to choose to be reborn and be someone new? Someone who knows that they can pick it up and achieve whatever they need. They can turn this around and step away from a barren mountain that doesn't feed us anything. It's hot and dry here. I heard that yesterday. It's hot here. And go where there's more lush green, healing, harmony. Know that you are capable of juggling, multitasking the most important things, and that you don't have to do it alone. You will have somebody who cares enough about you that they will go through all of this too to help you. You will achieve what you need to achieve. Could mean that someone new is coming into your life. Maybe someone's going to help you achieve that. Maybe you have decided, I want to be someone new. I don't want to be of that monkey mindset, monkey business. I want to be, remember that person said yesterday, I'm looking for a unicorn, but not just any unicorn, a magical unicorn. But you have that in you. All you need to do is choose and stop focusing on your flaws and contradictions. Are you going to choose to be someone new? We all have free will. It might indicate that you're moving to a new home. This might indicate that. Someone new might come into your life and show you how to get that home. But when I see someone new, and of all of these messages we've gotten today, and remembering that the home represents us as well, when we tidy up our own home, we get it in order. Get your house in order. When people say get your house in order, when you get your house in order, everything falls into place. So get on it. No more hesitation. Make sure that you focus on what you really want. And you do all of this recognizing that you are supported by the Ascended Masters. And you can call on your team. You don't have to be a solo act. On your trapeze, you've got a partner that wants to swing and meet you halfway. Then a recovery would be indicated. All right, you guys, at 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 23 seconds in, we're done. But 2:23 has a special message. It says, a healing miracle is imminent, engendered by your faith and your clear connection to one or more Ascended Masters who have heard and answered your prayers. Well, we know we've been working with Archangel Metatron, and clearly Archangel Michael. And just like that, a recovery is indicated because of your faith and you working so closely with this Ascended Masters, with these Ascended Masters. A healing miracle. It's a miracle because we just don't see how it can happen. But nothing is outside the realm of spirit. The possibilities are endless. We're the ones who keep things in a box. So look outside the box. Recognize that box as just being blue sky. All blue skies and sunshine ahead. And remember, your own nobility, says the Cardinal. And remember, the sparrow kept coming. The little sparrow, he was trying to peck that screen off the window to get so you could see things clearly. And he was taking the moisture from the aloe, the emotional. He was drinking that in. Don't be like those two little mockingjays outside. They were trying to get it together. We watched them. They tried, but they kept separating. Remember the vibration. The vibration. Where is that message that I saw that was going out? I could see the vibration. What was it in? And I said I felt that vibration. Was it in the stone vibrating out? I can't remember. But I brought it up and I talked about how when you vibrate with somebody, you feel that vibration. You're not doing that alone. That never happens alone. That means that there's someone in connection with you. So vibrate on, in order to bring your vibration to the highest possible frequency, focus on the positive. Keep your thoughts to spirit. connect with the ones that are of the same vibrational frequency, to lift your vibrational frequency higher. Feel that vibration, feel that love, focus on that. When you go into meditation, you connect that way. Self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others, and I can do anything I set my mind to because I am worthy and I am capable and I am not alone. I choose what is in my highest good. I am not obligated to take care of others. I am worthy of taking care of myself, and I will take care of myself. And I will allow myself to feel that vibration and draw to me what is in my highest good, no matter what my checkered past was, because I am seated in love and surrounded by healing, and I can do anything I set my mind to, says the solar plexus. I am worthy. I am capable. All right, you guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Love you.